Peace and love, everyone. Miss you guys. It's Ahyoka Bey, and I'm here with what you guys have been asking for, this update and another video. And I apologize. I don't like to keep you guys waiting. It's just, you know me, I like to come with results. And if you're on this journey, you already know that sometimes it takes time to get those results. So I've been doing little things here in the meantime. So I'll get you updated on a few of those things as well. So let's get to it. So first things first is that, let me say before we get to the first things first, let me say this. As far as your emails, I love the energy that I'm getting from my emails. I haven't had anyone say anything negative. I haven't had any negativity since I've started my channel. So I appreciate that. My ancestors are really working with me and bringing me the right people that have just really helped me along this journey. My angels, my torch bearers. I love you guys. Thank you. And I hope I'm giving to you as much as you guys are giving to me. So with that being said, the update on the A4V, we'll start with that first. So if you guys have been following me, you know that I had some success with my A4V last year. From June to December, my gas and electric were being paid, and those were the only two that I saw. But I also saw on my school loans were addressed. So what I did was when I posted those results, I had a few subscribers reach out to me and say like, hey, you're doing great, but here's some pieces that you may be missing. So I jumped on their method, and in all the studying and doing the documents and putting the things together that they were recommending, I did not jump right back on sending out the A4V. So like I said, last year was 2018. From 2018 June to 2018 December, my bills were being taken care of. One bill was just zeroed out the whole rest of the year. The other bill, when I received it, it would just say credit, nothing due. It would say a credit, a CR is what it would say. So in January, I got my first presentment since June of the past year. And instead of just going right into it and doing the A4V that I had done prior, I was taking some advice from others and was doing their process. So by March, and what I was doing at that time was trying to get a bond together, to create a bond. And so by March, that process was complete. So what I did, I put a video up when I did this about sending off those A4Vs. So I sent half the A4Vs on the process that I had did prior, and then I did the other half using my bond as the exemption number. So the reason I'm doing that is, I mean, the way that I see it in my head, it's like if you've been in a box all your life and you're told that there's stuff outside the box, it's like I'm sending little things out just to see how far out this, you know, get my surroundings or about me, get my bearings. It's like in the biblical story, Noah's Ark, you know, when Noah sent the dove out, you know, to just see what came back. That's kind of the process that I'm in right now. Is I hear a lot of things, and finding out that a lot of people that share this information aren't really active. They're not really applying the things that they are recommending. So that's scary to do that. That's why I kind of make sure that anything that I share with you guys, I'm actually doing it so I can give you my experience. And this is for entertainment purposes only, that I'm just here to entertain you with the things that I do on a day-to-day, right? It's nowhere legal advice. This is legal conversation. We're talking about legal things, but it's not legal advice. So let me show you guys what happened with my, or just take you on my journey. That's my files. That's my file cabinet. My it's my 2-year-old's changing table. It's been converted into my file cabinet. So this is the template that I used when I did my first A4V, and on the back I wrote the addresses that I sent my A4V to when I did it last year. And when I did that, you know, some of my subscribers were saying, you know, you didn't have to really send it to 3 different places. I had already heard that, so I said, you know, this time when I do it, I'm gonna try to just send it to 1. Now, if you guys watched my not my last video, but my video where I was talking about the A4V, I did get a frivolous claim packet from Ogden when I first did this process. So when I did the process this time, I only sent it to 1 department, and that department was the Treasury UCC Contact Trust. So that made the most sense to me because this is a United Commercial Code process. So I sent it to them. They're in Washington, right? Well, I noticed this time when I sent it to them, the green slip that I got back was not from Washington, but actually from Ogden. Threw me off just a little bit. Because I'm thinking, well, why didn't Washington sign that they got it and then sent it? They didn't even do that. They sent it right to Ogden. And I did not receive a frivolous claim this time. So that was back in March, and I remember April 2nd to June 2nd, June 2nd to July 2nd. So we are not quite at the full 8 weeks that I'm for sure that it took for my process last time. So we're still, you know, working things out. I have not received remedy this time. So, which again is why I was a little hesitant to post or make a video, because I hadn't got results just yet. But like I said, I've been doing other things in the meantime. And I also haven't received anything on my bond. But you know, we already know silence is acquiescence. However, I still have not received remedy on any of the things that I've done concerning the A4V. But again, we still have a couple more weeks for that. So, and that's just part of it. One thing you must understand on this process is that we are the people. We are the people. Without us, there's no need for a government. Without us, there's no need for authorities and leaderships and presidents and different things like that. They're here for us. The moment you understand your authority in the hierarchy of this whole system, it is the moment that you will walk with a lot more confidence. Your creators created you with a vision, with a purpose, and you are the only one that can manifest those things. But if you don't feel like you have the authority and the ability to do that, then you're failing. You know, you feel that. That I think is a lot of what anxiety is when your spirit is upset. You're supposed to be doing this whole other thing, but you over here living life like this. And we're not supposed to live like debtors. We're lenders, not borrowers. That's biblical, you know? So a lot of what this process is a spiritual process, because it is the powers that be that are like wizards, and they're using words and illusions to trick our mind. And that confusion is a sickness. It's a disease. It's dis-ease, you know, what they're doing to our mind with changing, you know, creating these labels that we label ourselves under. And the legalese that they use, a lot of the terms that we are taught in the institutionalized schooling system, are meant to divert you from the real journey at hand. Everything is a journey. This whole thing is a journey. And I've been paying attention to like the Disney movies and stuff, and you realize all the Disney movies, there's a journey, and on all the movies, the person that's on a journey, there's always they always have people that come along to help them on their journey, like Lion King, it's Timon and Pumbaa. It's they always have people. So be mindful of the people, the things that are sent to you. Your ancestors are talking to you. We're all connected, and I'm very confident that my ancestors are very intentional with this journey that I'm on, even with speaking with you guys, because a lot of the great things that I wouldn't even be where I am right now and the knowledge that I have right now had it not been for my ancestors bringing certain people into my life that are just, that give me information. I mean, when I say give me, I mean, these are people that's paid $2,000 for, a process or a course or a class, and they just give it to me. I mean, just give it to me. I don't even ask. They give it to me. They don't even ask me if I want it. They just give it to me. You hear me? That is nothing but the almighty consciousness. It needs, some of us, we are supposed to know this stuff. Some of us, it's already a part of us. You've already been in situations that have set you up for this knowledge to just come to you very easily. So be mindful of this spiritual battle that we're in. It's all spiritual before it's physical. Everything that we see, touch, and experience was thought of first before we actually experience. So just wake yourself up to what is really going on and see that we, the people, that we are in charge. So now that I've kind of laid that ground, let me let you hear how an Aboriginal queen, how an indigenous empress handles and conducts her affairs out here in these streets. So I live in an income-based housing complex, and again, income-based, so it's based on my income. So one day I was outside and I saw that the office had put a note on my door, and it was telling me that, I hadn't paid my rent yet. This amount, it was like, you still need to pay this amount. So I called him like, hey, what's this about? My rent's paid up. He's like, oh, well, you know what? Actually, we need you to come down to the office. Okay, I go down there. I go down to the office, and what happens? Oh, they tell me that I owe back rent. They say that I owe back rent for like a whole year, right? They looked at some stuff, they did some numbers and found that they did not charge me enough, and that I would owe them almost $2,500, right? And that I'd have to start paying back in May every month, an additional $227 a month to get them paid back, right? So this was in March. So they were saying March, you got April, and then in May you'll begin these payments. So and with this being in March, I had just told you guys, I was just doing my acceptance of value process. I had just completed my bond paperwork, and was ready to do that. I was learning about money orders and different things like that. So when they told me that I was gonna owe them something, I really wasn't even worried for real, because I was like, I'm gonna remedy this. Matter of fact, how can I pay the full total? You know what I'm saying? Y'all trying to put me on a little payment plan. Let me how can I get you the full payment is what I was asking them. And in anything, if you don't remember anything else, because we are in a place of authority, everything must be written. As far as requests, don't just call and say, hey, can you get this? Can you do this? Even if you can get it in writing anyway, you never know what's going to happen. And you never know if you're going to need to show document or a record of your process. So I typed up a letter, and I, was just asking them, would they take the full amount in a money order, a cashier check? And also, can I get a record of my account to know where you guys got this $2,500 that I owe, because y'all made a clerical error? Like, I'd like to see that. I put that, I didn't send it certified. I didn't even send it in the mail because it was my office, which I'm just telling you guys my experience. I'm not saying this is how to do it. Let me just let y'all know what happened to me. That's what this channel is for. You guys are my digital diary, right? So I dropped it in the little money order slot at the office. I called them a couple days. Hey, I wrote you guys a letter. Oh, we got it. Can you come up here? Sure. I came up there again. So this time when I go up there, they say, okay, we've looked over your records, and we decided that the $2,500, we're just gonna, zero that out, and we're gonna pretend that your rent went up starting this year. So we're not going to worry about all last year. We're going to start with the beginning of this year, which my lease started over in February. So here we are in April, and they're saying we're going to pretend as if your rent went up in February, and you just owe us back rent from February, March, and April, right? And then from May going forth, just know that your rent increased $227. Again, I'm like, okay. And when I say okay, what I mean is they're actually having me sign paperwork saying that I'm going to pay this monies back. And I always wrote signature with all rights reserved, UCC 1-308 every time. So even when I agreed to do the $2,500, and again, this is not legal advice, okay? I'm not telling you guys what to do or how to do it. I'm simply here to entertain you with my shenanigans and the things that I'm up to. So I signed it, UCC 1-308. Again, I signed saying that I'll pay back this $2,500, right? And then when they gave me the new one for $861, I signed that too. All rights reserved. Cool. So in this back and forth thing, because now we're coming up into May, and I say, well, let me get a bill, let me get a bill, apartments, because, when you sign the lease, they tell you how much it is, but they don't every month send you an invoice for your rent. So my mind is really thinking, y'all. I'm thinking hard, and I'm thinking, wow, they give me an amount and I just start paying it religiously and don't ever even see a bill anymore. So I said, okay, apartments, if you guys want me to pay anything, just send me a bill on letterhead. Sent me a bill, no letterhead, and the name of of who I needed to pay was different than what I would have been paying any other time that I had to pay a fee or, something like that. So this time I sent them a certified letter, a W-9. I sent them a W-9, and it just basically said, I need a invoice if I'm going to pay you guys, in an invoice on a letterhead. So they put on my door the $227 amount, no letterhead, and no signature. It said it has a signature line for the property manager to sign, but he didn't sign it. So I'm like, I'm not paying this. This isn't anything. I could have went in my house and typed this up. That's nothing. It's not a valid, like, I can't take this to the IRS and say this is the bill that I paid. And so now I see that something funny is going on. So how is it that the first time it was $2,500, but when I asked for proof, it drops down to $860, and when I asked for proof, it drops down to $227, and still no signature on any of this stuff except mine, And so now I feel like I got a little push power. You feel me? Now I'm pushing the envelope a little bit. I feel like, I might have a leg to stand on in this situation. So I go ahead and type them up a letter, and I tell them from front to back like what's going on, and I basically recreate the situation from my perspective. And I also include that I felt that this was predatory to tell me my rent is this lower amount in February when we did, you know, the lease signing, for you to tell me my rent is this much based on my income, and then 3 months later, based on the same income, you tell me I need to pay an additional $227. So it's my regular rent plus another, you know. And I said, when we signed the lease, I assigned to this amount. That's how much I'm paying, and that's it. Period. I put that in the envelope. I put a copy of the lease that I signed and that amount in the envelope, and then I printed out a proof of content and had the notary sign the contents that's in this envelope, so they can't say they didn't get this or that or the other. So I sent that in May, right? So June is coming up, and I was getting a little like, oh, I wonder what's gonna happen, because they did put on my door like this, not an eviction, but like the rules of an eviction, you know. So I was like, I feel like y'all trying to scare me, you know what I mean? Because it's not an eviction, it's just, this is what happens, this is why we evict people, and this is the process when it happens. Whatever, ignore. And okay, I'm lying, I didn't ignore it. I actually reached out to his boss through email and said like, hey, this is what I'm going through. I don't know if I need to file a complaint with you guys or if I need to just go straight to the courthouse, because I don't want them to try to evict me when they're not sending me the things that I need to properly get them paid. So pretty much how this all ended, because this is still June, right? I didn't pay them anything. Well, I was trying to throw, I attempted to have the trash man throw away this like big butt TV, and they didn't throw it away. It sat out on my curb for like 2 weeks, and apparently they came by, and the apartments came by and picked up my television for me at a fee of $25. So again, I wrote them this letter. I told them I'm not paying them anything until my income comes up. My rent's not going to come up. I didn't hear absolutely anything back about that. But I did receive a notice on my door, and I was like, oh my gosh, opened it up. It was a fee for $25 for them picking up my television. I think the Empress just won. All that rent y'all was talking about, gone. You know how it disappeared? Because I wrote a letter. I wrote a letter. And this $25 that they're charging me for this trash pickup, I mean, I can contest that if I really wanted to, you know. So I'm excited about that. They gave me so much energy, so much confidence to know that, you know, when you know your place, and luckily our place is above and not below, we the head and not the tail, then we don't have to be fearful. But I think that's why the government and the powers that be is in such a you know, they really do the most to keep this illusion alive, because the power is not with them, it's with us. But as long as we think it's with them, we do what they say, right? They're supposed to do what we say, right? So, you know, just along this journey, thinking about things like that, like I told you, that experience didn't happen for no reason. When I sent them the W-9 and I was basically making them tell me who I'm paying and give me an EIN number, the reason why that's so significant is because anything that we give these Federal Reserve notes to, right? When we file our taxes, we're actually supposed to get that stuff back. All we need is the EIN number and the amount that we paid them. and you can get that stuff back doing a 1099 OID. I suggest you guys really look into the IRS manual and just read, just educate yourself about what's really going on, because you already know the IRS is like the bookkeepers. They're the account. They're the United States corporations accountants, you know, and any business conducted, any transactions conducted, you know, having that receipt, when you file your taxes, you send all that information to the IRS for them to do their bookkeeping, and you actually get a return back on things that you put in. So that's the process that I'm working out right now, because any money that I've paid to my apartments, I'm going to claim that on my taxes, because that's something that I've been paying. So I'm working on a few things that allow us to corroborate and back up the things that we're doing on the front end, so we don't have to do so much arguing and fighting. I'm not about confrontation. I'm not about it. So, I mean, even if you watch my last video, you see when I had got pulled over with those warrants, all that talking the officer did, I just said, yep, yep, yep. Because I could say a whole lot more, but it's no need. I'm not here to argue. You know, arguing is for, you know, debtors, you know, people who don't know what they're doing. They're trying to negotiate. It's nothing to negotiate. What I say is law. You hear me? So I've been looking into the IRS manual, those redemption books. 4.5 is the one I'm looking at right now. I was also sent the redemption manual the 5th edition. I suggest you guys look into these things to get yourself familiar with really what's going on, and ways to get yourself out, because each individual has their own journey through this. Each individual is going through a certain amount of things that require them to do different things in this process. So there's not one way to the top of the mountain, but there are some wrong ways. You know, there's no one right way, but there are some wrong ways to handle your stuff. So I've kind of realized through all of this how important it is to really just understand the commerce of everything. So this process has led me to my credit, actually. So just speaking with different people, and I'm just kind of sharing with you guys what I get from the ethers, and you know, just what's going on along my journey is so based on the things that I found out, this is kind of my plan now. My plan now is to clear my credit, and really just learn how to discharge and do my taxes, you know, because if you have good enough credit, and this isn't talking about CPN lines, that's something, trade lines, those are things that you can kind of look into. But, you know, you can do that, but you can also just get your own credit cleared, because if you get your credit cleared good enough to where you can get houses and cars and assets with no money down, and then you know how to discharge them in that time, you know, within the first 30 days, you're winning. You know, you get assets, you put them in your trust. It's safe, it's secure, it's private. And then as far as the taxes, like I said, you're able to get your return on investment. You invest into these systems. The quickest way to hopefully paint this picture for you is if you think about the banks back in the day. You know, the bank was just a shed. If you think about it, the bank was just a shed. It's an empty place until the Empress comes, and I put my gold in there. I put my asset in there. I put my money in there. Now the bank has something. You didn't have nothing before I put it in there. You have something now that I put it in there. And now that I've put my money in there for you to hold it, the bank is now able to leverage what I put into the bank, right? It's able to leverage what I put in, and they're able to get interest off of what I put in. They're able to get late fees. They're able to get overdraft fees. They're also able to give out loans to other people using my credit using what I put in. They didn't put it in. I put it in, right? So because of that, when I would do my 1099 OID, I would tell the form how much money I put into the bank so that I can get that return, you know, because you know, you think about it, why do you even get a return from work? Because you're doing your W-2s. Why do we get a return? Obviously, we're putting in something and IRS is saying, oh, we need to give you back this much. You know, you guys follow these breadcrumbs. Just wake up and look at what's going on. And that's why I said, when you realize you're in something, you got to start doing little stuff to see how far out, you know, you could really go. So a few other little tidbits of some things. You know, I have someone sent me a thing about a template on free postage, free stamps, and that works if you don't have to send out anything certified. So I was sending out letters. As long as I just had to drop it in the mail, it would get sent, right? But, you know, as a private person, you know, you got to send a lot of things certified. And anytime I did that, of course, I had to pay for the postage. So it kind of defeated the point. Well, my ancestors brought me a beautiful spirit who just gave me all types of little gems to save my coins, save my debt notes. And one is a process to actually not have to pay for any postage, like for real. And so I'm actually investigating that right now. I just did the process to get myself set up to do that. And then next week, when I send out some of these credit repair packets, I will use the process and see if these letters, if these packets make it to the credit bureaus. And as soon as I see that boy tracking, I'm like, on it. So that'll be exciting. And as soon as I get proof on that, I'll send that to you guys. What else? Send me things. I send you guys things. I've gotten a lot of great oh, well, let me read what I wrote, because I think about you guys a lot, and I think about what I'm able to share with you guys, because of course a lot of people that send me stuff, since they are sending me proprietary information, you know, they're sending me documents with their personal information on it. I am a vault, okay, and I'm sworn to secrecy, and I take very serious the things that you guys send, and want to stay in honor. So sometimes I learn things through that venue, and I've already been asked not to share that with anyone. So I have to, when I get ready to share things, I have to remember, like, where did it come from? Because I don't want to upset anyone that, you know, has asked me not to share something specific. So I'm doing my best. Know that I take that very seriously. And I appreciate the things that you guys do send. And I would hope that anything that I send out, if I ask you to keep it private, that you would do the same. But I did want to make sure that I gave a shout out to all those who have sent me these remedies. That is true love to me. You are obviously connected with your ancestors, and you're connected with the holy, almighty consciousness that flows through you, that's telling you she deserves this, she needs this, right? So I appreciate that. And like I said, I wouldn't be here without the people along the way that is, you know, that's really, really helping me, and vice versa, because it does take a village to succeed. We always say it takes a village. It takes a village to succeed. It takes a village to raise children, and as we are just grown children, you know, so it always takes a village. And another thought that I had wrote down was that even the Almighty needs us, you know, even the Almighty needs us. If the Almighty was able to get the things done without us, we would not be here. obviously the Almighty knows something that we don't, that is about a community, is about a connectedness, a connectivity that we're all involved in. He needs us, so of course we need each other. You know, he's not doing it alone. He's doing things through us. So understand your value in all of this, and give grace and give forgiveness, because you need it. You know, you give those attributes so you can get those things back from the universe. When the universe answers your questions, when the universe shows you things, when the universe brings you something, somebody, value it. Thank the Almighty all the time. And yeah, so that was, you know, that was it for today. I didn't want to be too long. I just wanted to throw some little tidbits, because I know a lot of you guys have been waiting patiently for a video, and I really appreciate it. Thank you all for subscribing. Don't be afraid to share these videos with those that are coming into the journey or on the journey. I like to view myself as a lighthouse. I'm just up here, just, you know, I'm here, you know, and it's like, as these ships are coming in, they need to be like, oh, okay, cool. I'm going the right way. That's it. We're here to help each other, help entertain each other, because, you know, life can be boring sometimes, right? So, I'm going to finish out the video, with my favorite thing, my favorite topic. So, I work with, through my nonprofit, I work with the, Historical Society. Now, I just recently got connected with the Historical Society. So there's a lot of things with them that I've been learning on this journey that I would like to expose them to, but I'm patient, and I'll allow the ancestors to get that information to them, whether it's through me or whichever way. But what we're actually working on right now is the preservation of Black Wall Street. Yes, I'm here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where the massacre of 1921 took place. And I am working very closely with this preservation project, because one of my board members is actually, her family was in Black Wall Street. She grew up in Black Wall Street, not even realizing the importance of what she was a part of. And her father actually took footage of Black Wall Street just back when they were rebuilding. So this is after the massacre. This is the rebuild. This is actual, never before seen footage of real people in Black Wall Street and what they were doing. And it is such a beautiful documentary. We just began showing it. We're showing it so that we can identify the families that are in the video. So if you're interested at all in any part of that process, please reach out. We're trying to make this a really big deal, because it is a big deal. She's also created curriculum that is already able to be accessed by the schools. This curriculum will give it allows us to narrate the story about Black Wall Street. It gives positive verbiage about the rebuild and about Black Wall Street, and it's encouraging to melanated people, Aboriginal people, Indigenous people, because it's not talking about just us getting bombed and getting killed and our things getting wiped out. It's talking about how resilient we were and how resilient we are. We still have that same DNA in us. These are our ancestors who rebuilt, and Tulsa was the Mecca. So it was really popping out here. So what I have here in my hand is actually a CD of Black Wall Street, not the documentary that I was talking about, but the Black Business Directory. Now, I'm against calling my people Black because of the trickery and the spell that has been created behind the word Black, and that's why it's an attribute that they're trying to put on us, a label that they're trying to put on us. It's colorable. It's not real. There's no black. There's nothing black. You know, if you're Japanese, you're from Japan. If you're Nigerian, you're Nigeria. If you're from Australia, you're Australian. If you're black, you're not from black. There's no black. So we need to get back in touch with our ancestors and find out who we really are. I was able to find that I'm actually connected to Nigerians. So, hey, all my Nigerian family out there. Love you, love you, love you. With that being said, they call themselves Black Wall Street. That's that whole thing is called Black Wall Street. So I'm going to continue with that so we can identify what it is that I'm talking about so we don't get lost in translation. However, this is the Northside Black Business Directory. So myself and Ms. Aduni has taken the time to collect all the Black-owned businesses, so-called Black-owned businesses that are still here in Tulsa, put them on the CD so that friends and family, when visiting Tulsa or you live here, you're able to circulate the dollar within your community and help rebuild and keep building Black Wall Street. So that, you know, we can leave behind a legacy for those who, you know, still are wanting to do business and things like that. So these are $10. So if you, I have copies, of course, you can see. We have a Facebook page. We have a website. So those things I'll list below. But this is so important to me because this is the remnants. This is, you know, what was left over, and we have a unique opportunity to grab hold of, you know, Black Wall Street back then before integration, and bring it back, bring it up today. And there's nothing wrong with us taking pride in ourselves. And I think that that is one thing that society doesn't want us to do, is take pride in ourselves, because you can go to any state, any area, and you can see, you know, the Chinese people, they're together. You know, the Caucasian people, they're together. You know, the Hispanic people, they support each other and they're together. Matter of fact, here in Oklahoma, there's like 2, 3, 4 blocks that we call Little Mexico. Like they did here, Little Haiti, Little Mexico, because it's all Mexican. The signs are all in Spanish, everything. Nobody messes with them. No one thinks that they're being racist. Nobody's thinking anything negative about the fact that they support each other and that they raise their children in an environment that empowers them. We have to do the same. All our professionals, stand up. You know, so I don't want to get too far. I told you guys I'm passionate about this part, about our legacy and about keeping pride in our family. You know, I teach my sons, I educate my sons, I guide my children to knowing who they are and the authority and the power that they have, so they know that they are ahead and not a tail, that they are above and not below. So I'll go ahead and conclude this video. I'm 2 minutes earlier than I said. I said I didn't want this video to be longer than 45 minutes. We're at 43. Woo, woo, go me. But yes, so hope this was gave you guys some nuggets. Please feel free to message me. Send good energy. I send it all to you. Bow, good energy, good energy, good energy. Smiles, productivity, peace, all of that. So, peace and love and light to all. Until next time, stay enlightened.